promised in our last video, I am here today to talk to you all about our experience with the Junior Ranger programs at national parks, national monuments, and state parks, along with some of our tips and tricks for getting the most out of them and enjoying them and being prepared for them. We end up doing a ton of Junior Ranger programs with our three oldest kids. Lowell is 4.5, almost 5. Lena just turned 7, and Kendall will be 10 shortly. So they have all had something for each of their age ranges at every park that we've been at that has had a Junior Ranger program. So what is a Junior Ranger program? Most national parks and monuments seem to have them, along with some state parks. They're an awesome way for us to explore the parks and get the kids excited about exploring the parks. They learn plenty of writing and social studies and history and even math when they participate in Junior Ranger programs. So we let them take the day off of their road school curriculum that day. We've done quite a few Junior Ranger programs over the last couple months. Now we have a bit of a system that seems to work for us. So I have some tips to share with you and some tricks for getting the most out of your Junior Ranger experience with your own kids. We learned early on to try to get online and look ahead and plan ahead. Most parks have their Junior Ranger program workbooks online. So you can either go on there and just check it out, kind of make a plan, see what you're gonna have to plan for the next day, or you could go ahead and download them and print them if you have access to a printer. We find that the workbooks are so cool and make really great souvenirs. So we actually, if we do print it out ahead of time, we still request the workbooks when we get to the ranger station, and then the kids will transcribe what little bit they've already answered over into their workbooks. But what you need to know is there's really not a whole lot that you can do before getting to the park. So it's not entirely possible to print it out online the night before and fill it all out before you get there. Unless you're just not really gonna experience the parks and you plan on Googling stuff, but that's really not how the program is meant to be used. It's supposed to get you and the kids out into the park, exploring and really observing your surroundings. A lot of times Junior Ranger programs will ask you and your kids to visit other buildings on the property, other parts of the park, and then make those observations in their worksheets or their journals about it. So you need to plan accordingly as far as how much time it will take you. Like I mentioned in our last video, we have learned that Junior Ranger programs can take a significant amount of time to complete. So you definitely cannot plan on rolling up, grabbing the workbook, filling it out in the lobby, turning it in and saying a pledge and getting your badge. That really has not been our experience at any of the parks we've been at. And this is an example of a workbook that you get. This is one from Big Bend. So you can see it's really fun and colorful. There's a lot of great activities in here. This was from Lowell. He's 4 years old. So he does different activities than the older kids do. And it's usually broken up into age range. And sometimes our 7-year-old daughter ends up doing the activities that the 4-year-old does. And sometimes she ends up doing the activities that the 10-year-old does. So she kind of seems to be in the middle. But the older they are, the more challenging the activities can be. So this is the one from Big Bend, and this is the one we just got yesterday at the Grand Canyon. They're very nice. This one actually comes with a postcard on the back that you can tear out and send home. And these just make incredible souvenirs. So I strongly recommend trying to get your hands on them. Once they're finished with the program, they don't have to turn them in. The rangers will sign them and then you can save them as a souvenir for them. They usually give you a pencil there at the ranger's office, but we try to bring our own so that we're not using their resources. And we also try to bring our own colored pencils because a lot of times, especially for the younger kids, activities will include drawing pictures of their surroundings. And so it's nice to have some colored pencils for them to do more detailed drawings, and they get more excited to color things in with colored pencils. Of course, colored pencils do a lot better in a hot car than crayons do. Occasionally, we'll let them bring some markers. We actually prefer to do the Junior Ranger tasks back in our truck when we are either letting the baby take a nap or we're in there having snacks Sometimes we'll get in the back, the bed of the truck. Either way, it's just easier for us to go back and regroup instead of trying to get all the activities done while we walk through the park. So something that's been incredibly useful are these clipboards that have storage in them. My mom actually gifted these to the kids for Christmas. She had them personalized with their names on them. Any office supply store or Amazon will sell these, so I'll try to find some links for you guys. What's really cool is not only do you have a great writing surface, but then they open up and you can store, right here we have extra workbooks for long car rides, some blank paper and journal stuff, and then they keep their pens, colored pencils, whatever they have in here. So if you're gonna be traveling a lot in your car, these are awesome to get for each kid. They store it neatly right underneath the car seat, so it's not an issue. But if you don't have the space for that, or maybe you're flying, maybe you are gonna be relying on what's inside your backpack and that's a little too big, these clipboards are super inexpensive at any big box store or office supply store. I think they run about $1.25 each. So just having some kind of flat surface that they can write on really helps. When we get to a national park or a national monument or a state park, the very first thing we typically do is watch the movie. They all so far have had incredible movies that we can go in and watch, and they're normally about 20 minutes long. They teach us so much about the parks, and it's a great base of knowledge to have to work from when you're filling out those activities in the Junior Ranger program. A lot of times one of the tasks that they can check off is to watch the movie. So it's a pretty easy thing to get in there and get done. Okay, so when your kid is finished with their Junior Ranger program, they will usually be offered a Junior Ranger badge after they take the pledge. We'll see if we can zoom in here and see. But at our first park, we were offered the choice between a badge and a patch. And I immediately thought, oh my gosh, patches would be incredible to collect because I think they're gonna last a lot longer than these plastic badges will. So we decided, let's get patches instead of badges. And when we get back from our trip, we hope to purchase a quilt for each child and have all of their patches sewn onto their quilts. Well, not all national parks offer the choice between a patch or a badge. Some parks like Carlsbad Caverns, you have to purchase the patch yourself. Some parks like Grand Canyon have Junior Ranger patches for a couple dollars, but again, you still have to purchase them yourself. So if you choose to go the patch route, just know that you need to make room for it in your budget, that they're not always going to be offered up for free. But it seems that the badges are always offered for free. They're not always plastic, though I would say the majority of them have been so far. But the state of Arizona gave the kids a really cool wooden one last week that we really like. So just going into it, have a plan for how you're going to store these. Are you planning to keep them for your kids for memorabilia, or are you going to just let them play with them? These can get a little flimsy and the backs seem to break off pretty easy. So that's why I wanted to keep the patches for long term for the kids. It's not that that is all there is to know, but it's all that I have time for. We've got to run into town. We are trying to buy some stuff to help us boondock at the Grand Canyon this weekend. So I've got to go, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. I would love to hear what your favorite Junior Ranger programs are if you've visited any around the country. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to BabyLeague, and we will see you guys again next week, hopefully with a cool story all about our experience at the Grand Canyon. Thanks guys for tuning in. Bye.